Day 10,000 is coming up quick in my hardcore Minecraft world. I have less than 150 days remaining before reaching that crazy milestone. With over 3.5 years in this world, it's a little weird to see that finally coming up. So today, I want to build mountains. I have been steadily building up an entire custom landscape from a challenge where I asked people to subscribe, and I would place blocks for every new subscriber. We're going to run that again. For every new subscriber on today's video, I will add another 30 blocks to the count of how many I need to place down. As today, we're wiping that slate clean, so subscribe if you want to see this project grow even further. Click the like button if you're enjoying this series, and let's get to work. I have a huge problem in this world. I am constantly running out of shulker boxes to move items around. No, it's not that I need more shulker boxes. I actually have over 500 of them scattered throughout this world. The problem comes in that I have too many blocks. Yes, every single one of these shulker boxes is full of dirt. I currently have well over 400,000 dirt and 600,000 stone in storage, and today I want to try and make a dent in clearing that out. But first, we need to go back in time to what I've done since the last time we worked on this landscape project. I've decided we need to expand it beyond just the north side of the river, so I've started with clearing out a large number of trees on the south side near my existing custom mountains. All of this so that we can see the landscape underneath and be able to terraform it later today and help finish off the existing custom mountain range. I do want some more time to think on that area, however, for what it will look like down there, so I jumped up to the highland region to extend it further back, filling in a lot of dirt between the different guidelines I put in place when a friend showed up with his new magic trick. After hanging out with the wandering trader for a while, I jumped down to the river as I want to turn the eastern edge into a donut-shaped lake going around the central hill we have a village sitting on. Because, I mean, come on, this is going to look amazing with a custom village here. Again, back up the mountain to place in a ton of blocks, filling in so much of the area I've already planned out with dirt. Good news is the landscape up here looks absolutely awesome. Bad news is that was all recorded about a month or so ago, and it didn't touch my existing dirt storage at all. And we still have quite a few shulkers left over here to begin with anyways. Oh boy. Before I bring over a ton of shulkers for no reason, I want to continue through clearing off the little hill of boxes that I already have out here. So picking up a ton of dirt, I got to work filling in the 2 gaps in the terrain that are just left over from last time. Trying to follow along with the natural shapes I've already created, I find using a line going across each Y level works best to then come back in and fill it all in, which I repeated along until the next riverbed section for a casual 90 minutes of block placing. And that last gap that I missed in the middle is now filled in too with a bit more of a rock face in there. And we're going to be having a river cascading coming down this little section right over here that's going to bend all the way up there and farther into the landscape. During that time, I did manage to clear out 7 more shulker boxes completely of materials, and we're almost out of dirt up here. Then almost an 8th shulker box from our stone supply, which brings this project here up to roughly 168,600 blocks placed down. And we've got a lot more to go today. First up for new projects, we can jump right down here as I want to work on the southern side of the riverbed next to finish up the area between our 2 mountains. And these shulkers are just going right back down here as I need to clear out all of these trees. Thankfully, I did clear out the other half of this space earlier on when I was bored and looking for something to do, as I want to also grab the leaves, and that just adds a lot more time needed to clear out a forest. Instead of chopping the logs and moving on, each tree probably takes another 20 seconds or so, which adds up over the entirety of a forest, but it's worth it to save the time later on. Just about 4 shulker boxes filled up from clearing out this mess of a forest, but it's looking much better here. Well, a lot worse, but you know, we gotta make it look worse before it looks good. Just like we're gonna continue making a mess here on my front porch. We'll drop the 4 filled ones up there, and then we'll put the empty ones in here. And heading over to dirt storage now, it's time to get working on these. Let's bring 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Should be hopefully good enough for this. I got more space. Let's just bring them all. I've still got plenty of stone up here, so we can work off of that too, as we're just building out of these 2 blocks today to get ourselves started. I would love to detail this terrain later on, but for now, my whole goal is to clear out things from the storage monster, and if we detail and decorate and texture and all that stuff, I'm just gonna be gathering blocks to place down, as I don't keep those on hand. Let's restock on some rockets here and grab dirt to get started. I'm 1 stack shy. Oh, it's so sad. I shouldn't need my axe. This will just make things so much better. I've decided, in order to make something that I am really happy with and to keep at a good pace, I've moved from freehanding the terrain to use Axiom in a creative copy and then importing that into the world using Lightmatica. This is the first step, and it turned into a huge project because of that, which meant I cleared shulker box after shulker box of dirt to be placed down, leading to a much more grand design than I would have made otherwise. Using a zoomed back approach, I was really able to focus on the looks instead of just trying to get it done quickly to move on to the next step, which means these hills of dirt are coming together very nicely. Just a casual 12 days in-game of dirt placing later, and these floating hills in here need a few blocks to fill them in, but they're looking really cool in here. It's kind of fun being able to fly through them, to be honest. But we should probably link them to the ground. I think this is a great way to smooth it down into the river that we have. Let's move up here to grab a bunch of stone. First, though, we can clear out all of these empty boxes that I've managed to get rid of, which is so nice. Yep, that was 12 shulker boxes emptied of dirt. Let's just set up a chest right over here that we can just deposit all of these empties in so I don't keep accidentally opening them. We've got a ton of dirt left over here, but we're onto the stone. Speeding through another round of block placing to fill in the gaps that I had left open previously, we get to see more of the vision coming together for this entire space down here as a bit more of a natural looking transition out of the existing mountains. Well, that's another 2 shulker boxes we can throw with the rest of the empties here in the chest, and I really feel like, pun aside, I am flying through this now. But I did just notice a spot right along here that I would like to clean up, as I have some plans for the river and all of the water down here. I think a bit of that's going to be expanding our riverbed. This is looking pretty solid, and that should all fill right back in. But something about turning this area out here into a larger lake could be really awesome, but that's a future me problem, as current me already has a mountain lake to build, and only 120 days left until day 10,000, so I better get moving. So I don't have to do this later. We're gonna bring five shulker boxes with us, as I need to go gather mud in here. I know I'm breaking my rule of only placing blocks today, but it's gonna be so worth it. Do I have any in here? Okay, you know, that's part of a box. We'll take that for now. And we're off to the mangrove swamp to fill up the rest of these. Leading us out past my most recent project, the expansion in the city of New Papyrus. We're out in the mangrove swamp trying to quickly gather up mud, and talking about only 120 days left has kind of weirdly stressed me out. It took 30 days in game to just do the first part of the landscape today, and I have so many big plans that I want to accomplish before that day 10,000 comes around that I'm starting to get a little worried I might not be able to do all of them. There goes my fish shulker box, filled up with mud, with 4 being completely mud, and this one's kind of a split between the muddy roots as well. That should be more than we need, and I just need to make the trip back over. I was just flying back in and saw the sun setting and started looking at this rock up here again, and I think it's about time we finally tear that down and change it. But first, this whole lake thing. Oh, didn't break the wheat. Good job, me. We'll work on the surrounding area around our lake in a bit, but first I want to actually start filling it out, and we can just place all of this junk down here and sleep the night away. Right, all that mud that I just gathered up, time to get back to it. Back to the old cycle of filling up my inventory and running around placing in stack after stack of blocks, first lining out the lake bed so I can more easily work my way back up to the edges as I work my way around the entire space. Filling up a second bucket of water, we can get started on turning this into a lake. Instead of a giant pit of mud floating in the sky, it'll be a lake floating in the sky. And just like that, a few more buckets placed in, we have our lake. I've had to bone meal a bit of this section over here as I keep getting ice growing in, and then unfortunately all the tall grass is causing this to all grow down. It's just all over the place. But as long as I can get some seagrass in here along all the edges, the ice isn't able to grow as it doesn't have anything to connect to. And that's not a source block, so that can't turn to ice either. But I think I've got pretty much the entire edge, and that should be good. I'll keep some bone meal on me and keep looking at that in the background, but now I think it's time time that we finally tackled the top of this mountain. Not too sure what I was thinking. Well, I think I was trying to clone something like that so I could match back here, but it's not working. So I think we take about here all the way around and just chop it off and we can redo the top. You know, before we build that thing back up, we need to make one quick stop. As back at my starter base, there's another material that I've been hoarding because I've had nowhere else to put it. In here, we have so many snow blocks. We're just gonna take a bunch of these. And since I'm over here, let's load up on a few more stone shulkers. And over here, we can grab some dirt shulker boxes to bring back with us too. Just a few more items over for the project. But now I think it's about time that we just can place down a bunch of blocks back on the landscape to redo the top of that mountain. The snow on top was a last-minute decision here. I originally planned for it to just be grass and moss going all the way up, but I really like how this turned out. It's really starting to set the scale of our mountains, even though it's the same height as that one over there. Because it has the snow on top, it looks much more like a colder, taller environment, especially as we need to grow it back really, really high up here. We have so much work to go with building multiple mountains today, so I jumped right back into it, just slowly chipping away at this insane project where I first started by laying down some dirts and smaller stone foundations. This is a project to tackle in stages. If I'm worrying about finishing the entire thing, instead of focusing on finishing a smaller section, it will quickly lead to burnout, and I won't want to be building here at all. I really love landscaping, but it's a big time investment to do anything at a natural scale, so we really need to keep that in mind as we move forward. For example, everything we've done here so far took over an hour to place in, and that includes Lightmatica for placing in the blocks to make it go much, much faster as I live stream this entire thing so you can watch it all come to life in real time if you wish. Or we can go for the pure satisfaction of seeing the entire peak to come together in under 10 seconds. 1 hour and 54 minutes of building shrunk down into less than 10 seconds of content. Great job, fWhip. Great job. But hey, it's done. Look at this peak. That's a nice peak right there. Now that you've seen this entire thing come together here in survival, here's a bit of a background for a future mountain on how I actually make this stuff using Axiom, with the large shapes in the middle to roughly give an idea of it. And then I used the Smart Surface tool to connect a large mesh for all of those flatter areas, and we can finally start using our rock tool as an ellipsoid to block in some of the shapes, and a little texturing and smoothing to give a final result you'll see later. We'll get to that new addition in a bit, but I have something very important to do first. Well, first a quick pit stop down into the nether. Ooh. So I'm running very low on food, so we need to stop out here at the Hoglin farm. Right. Now for the very important thing. It's time to plant a field. I can't possibly forget the last field before hitting 10,000 days. That'd be silly. So taking a quick break from the mountain for something absolutely essential, I'm building another field in this world. We're reaching a huge milestone in the world today, if everything goes well, with 10,000 days survived in hardcore Minecraft. So please consider subscribing if you haven't already. This journey has been going on for nearly 4 years, and you won't want to miss where it's going to be going in the future. And of course, I had to return to the wheat field to bookend the 10,000 day journey of field building. Yep, that's all we've done for 10,000 days is build fields. No, I'm just kidding. Right here next to our lovely Woolly Cow Ranch. Look at the little guys, they're so cute. One more pit stop before we get back to mountain building again. I need to repair all of my stuff as my 3 elytras are looking pretty rough currently. So back into the nether we go, down to the Wither Skeleton Farm, as I really need to get my bone meal supply back up from last episode's sink. Headed back to the mountains now, and seeing all of this loading in is looking nuts flying up here. That seems very, very short. Oh, okay. Yeah, okay. Right. Thank you for correcting me. Thank you, Minecraft. I appreciate that. Just rounded up the next round of empty shulker boxes, and we have 18 new empty ones with the 12 that we originally had. That brings us up to 30 shulker boxes clear just in this. Oh, I'm gonna be able to pick up so much new junk when I go gathering things everywhere else. Oh, it's gonna be lovely. For a quick tip here for all of my fellow Lightmatica users, because yes, it actually makes building in Minecraft pretty enjoyable here. Going up to the next section where you can see this is all grass. If we go over to edit, and then there's a keybind you can set, and you can hold your dirt and you can just replace all of it. So now I can just go through and do the fancy little quick place mode, and it's so nice. By the way, it's under schematic, edit, replace all. That's the one you want to click. As we move further up the central valley of this mountain range, I wanted to add in a new bluff here for some more interest overall, bringing a flatter region for potential building and a lot more space just stretching back. Well, that's the 9,913th sunrise in this world, and I've just cleared through a 4th shulker of dirt on this part. I guess I just grab some more and keep on going. This should be the last few blocks of dirt that I need to place for now, and on to something very fun. I can put away the 10 shulker boxes of dirt that I just cleared out, and instead I can pick up some stone. Oh yeah, new block to place in, let's go. Look at all this fun new placing of stone happening instead of the boring dirt placing. Boo, that was so last minute. This is the way forward, as I need to build up the shelf of cliffs to reach the upper plateau region, where I have no idea where I am taking this going further back, but I really do like the look that we're getting so far. Have we reached the snow biome yet? It looks like we're just about to get there, so maybe I need another shelf of cliffs here so we don't just have like a random line where snow starts and we take it up again another, what is this, like 8 to 10 blocks here, and then we can have a more natural transition into the snow. But for now, I have 2 more shulkers to add in here that have been emptied from stone, and I'm down to just 4 shulkers of dirt and not even a full one, and we've got a decent amount of snow left, but I need to actually go grab more dirt. I'm leaving the empty shulkers there so I can count out how many boxes I have and figure out how many blocks I placed down, and I'm seeing that I missed a stone block over there. It's fine, I'll get it when I get back. But this way I can keep track of the total number of blocks that we placed down on this landscape that is looking really cool from up here. Wait, I have to see. Oh, that looks so good. Makes me kind of want to redo this mountain too, so it can look really, really cool too. Oh, what? Oh, no, you gotta be kidding me. Is this Radish? How did you get up here? Wait, oh my God. Radish, we found you. I was scanning that mountain for the horses and I just saw Radish just sitting all the way up here. Oh my God. Okay, this is a really big moment. This is almost the fastest horse you can get in Minecraft, and I lost them like 500 days ago, and I've been asking on every stream if somebody can help me find Radish, and we did it. We found Radish. Oh, this is a great day. Oh, something about a Minecraft horse just gets, you know, really, really right in the feels when you lose it. I know I use the elytra to get around a lot, but I do love this horse. All right, Radish, we're gonna hook you back up at your little firewood cart over here where you hang out most of the time so I don't lose you again. Oh, I'm so happy to have you back. I know it's just a Minecraft horse, but I actually can't stop smiling. I'm way too happy about finding that horse again. Okay, we'll get back to work. I just need a few minutes just to enjoy this for now. I have reloaded on a healthy amount of stone and dirt so we can keep expanding. That's a lot of boxes here. But we are moving into another mountain like we got right over there. The one that we actually just designed is going to be sitting right up there. I think we start with some stone. As I'm working through building the second mountain of today's episode, I'm remembering back to my goal when I started the countdown to 10,000 days that I wanted to clear as many shulker boxes as I possibly could so I could have them on hand for the future as I was running out. And we are managed to do that pretty well so far with this big build of a snowy mountain coming together in here along the back, helping to better frame out the whole area. We have now cleared 51 shulker boxes worth of materials, meaning I have placed 88,128 blocks so far in this episode. And we are now on day 9,930, so I've got 70 days left. It's getting closer. What is also getting closer is this mountain. Oh, Oh, look at it. It's so absolutely fantastic. I'm really happy with how it's coming together here, as we're moving into a bit of a ravine section that's going to be coming all the way up, as along here I want to include a river. You can see I've already started to frame this out a little bit along here as we're moving into the snowy biome, so we're going to be very careful of how we actually add water into this thing. It's going to be an absolute pain in the butt. But up here at the top of it, which should also be pretty fun, is I want to include a waterfall, just something for that extra addition of blue coming down in here. If I can't keep it from freezing, we'll do something with some glass like you see all the fancy waterfall people doing nowadays, but I think we can just use some good old-fashioned water coming right through there. We can do some ice falls like farther up in the landscape as we get even farther back here, and then I just give up on actual water and embrace the ice. Time to change out the elytra yet again here, and we can reload on dirt, as I want to execute on the riverbed now and start working on bringing this next section down to the Minecraft ground level, as why not go back to dirt placing? What better things could I be doing with my life than placing thousands of blocks of dirt in Minecraft? A very exciting moment here. A double chest of empty shulker boxes. Woohoo! Now I just need some more chests that we can place down to start filling the second double chest of empty shulker boxes. And yes, I do already have 3 more to add to that. From here, let's get our water bucket, another bucket, and some bone meal, as I want to sort out this river. The whole riverbed itself is dug out, and I've been working up the dirt along the backside, so it's looking pretty good in here. Ooh, and you know, I need some more stone real quick, as I think I want the water to cascade right through here. So let's give ourselves a place to capture it for now, and that snow's probably gonna have to get removed, just so we can make some source blocks. Bam and bam, and then I'm bone mealing all 3 of these, not the middle one, so we can do that and get some more, and then we'll re-bone meal it. And let's just let it cascade down and see what happens. You know, honestly, not half bad. I think another one right in here just to help bring it to the side could be cool. That's not a bad waterfall. I love that dark blue color being in the snowy biome. Now I just have to go through the process of bringing this down a lot further and hoping that we can at least make it a little bit deeper. Well, I might have to bring some rocks out here, because that's a little just like too, like it could go woo off that way and doesn't look the best. And there's our first ice coming in. Yeah, all right, we're gonna need a lot more bone meal. I may need a different solution here, because that's gonna be so much seagrass in this. Okay, I'll just see what I can make up. We'll do this, guys. Totally fine. I'm not stressed at all. I have made it out of the snowy biome, so I don't have to worry about ice growing anymore, but as you can see, it's getting to be a little much to handle. I can only have it be 2 blocks deep in here, so at least along the edges, so I can at least have the taller seagrass, but oh, this ice is growing everywhere. Keeps being like one spot I forget, and then it fills in the entire middle, but like there and then there, we need that along the edge. It's not the best look. It's very, very green with all the grass, but maybe that works for a mountain river. There's a lot of nutrients flowing down, so there's a lot of life happening. Yeah, that's why it's all seagrass everywhere. Definitely making me realize that I need to fix up the riverbed a little bit more and bring in the sides just a touch, because they kind of just flow out. So I'm doing some terraforming as I go here. Well, that's at least 1 layer of water coming down. Oh, no, almost all the way. I think that one more and then it'll take it all the way there. Ah, so close. That should do it for our river going all the way down there, where it doesn't connect into anything currently. And I've been staring at this for far too long, trying to make sure that I get all of the potential ice spawning points. And I think I've got it. It's been about 5 minutes since I've seen an ice block spawn in here, so we should be good. Yep. I'm pretty happy I decided to put that in here. That is looking fantastic. Moving on from the river, I want to go into the final expansion for the mountains today. I've got just 60 days left, so I want to get as much done as I possibly can. I normally don't really care about the day count in Minecraft, but for some reason, this big milestone is making me really want to ramp up building on exactly day 10,000. I'm in the middle of the time lapse right now, and I just randomly found this polar bear here in the dripstone cave. He's pretty far from anywhere where a polar bear would spawn. That dude's been exploring. He's probably ventured from all the way out there. I don't even know how he got here. They're not named or anything, right? No, that's just normal polar bear. Okay, well, back to building I go. The rest of that first clip is now in, and fun fact, I have now placed over 500,000 dirt blocks. Actually, 514,000 dirt, but it is crazy to think that I placed 500,000 dirt blocks in this world. I decided I should just continue building the space out and increasing the dirt placed count so that I can at least take that item off the list of what I still need to get in today for what I have planned so far. We have a good amount of space here between the cliffs and the mountain for building some small farms and greenery, which hopefully should look pretty nice. Nope, don't kill the villagers. Don't do it. No, the villagers are under my protection. Please still be alive. Please still be alive. Where was he? Where? Oh, no, I think he's gone. Oh, I think they killed him. That was the last villager here, and the villagers killed him. I'm not really sure what to do with this space now. Nobody lives here anymore. That's a little awkward. I guess I can just get back to what I was doing. And I'm just really not too sure on what to talk about at this point in time, as it's probably just need to keep placing blocks. That's kind of all I'm really doing, and we're building more mountains. Just super casual stuff, building mountains, you know, and I should probably get a different set of elytra. Oh boy, on to the last one. Yep, this is it. Another day of mountain building right here. Off we go. I ran out of stone, and I've also run out of snow. Second double chest of shulkers is filling up pretty quick, but look at the mountain. I added in a lot of the snow after I ran out of stone just so that I could see it, and it looks weirdly really cool just to have all of the snow caps in up here instead of with all the snow, like stone lining it out. I don't know, I just thought it was kind of a cool view. So yeah, we have one big peak coming up here, comes down into a little valley, and then we're gonna have a second rock right over here. We're also now close enough where from the Foliage University you'll be able to see the mountain loading in, and that is so cool. Grabbed another 3 shulker boxes of snow. That should be more than enough to finish it off. No idea how much stone I'm gonna need, so let's just we'll take as many as we can. Yeah, that's the last shulker of stone that we have. And no, don't worry, all of these barrels are still full of stone. We've got plenty more. Oh, the squid farm still does work. Well, there's one squid. Any others? No. Oh, well, all right. I don't really care too much about getting rid of that then. Right. In order to save time, I think I'm just going to set up the new mess of shulkers, as we're going to use a lot of these just right over here, actually at the place we're working. So I'm not flying all the way over there every time I run out. Yeah, it's a really good ratio. All that stone and 3 shulkers of snow. Yep. All right. Let's get back to it. I am kind of wishing that I picked something a little more engaging as the final build before day 10,000, but this is also something that I have personally looked forward to doing for so long. So for me, it's very cool to be doing, and I really love it, but I have no idea how this is going to turn out for a video with just 130 something days of dirt, snow, and stone placing happening. So last night I was hanging out with some IRL friends, and we are just kind of chatting how work's going for everybody, and they're asking me what I've been up to recently, and it was a little awkward hearing them talk about all their like big work time stuff with like, you know, normal corporate jobs and those things, and they're like, what have you been doing? What's your next video you're working on? And I'm like, I've literally just been placing dirt, stone, and snow in Minecraft for 8 to 10 hours a day for the last 4 days, and here I am still going with it. Another 9 shulker boxes have been cleared out, but our valley passway is completed. We definitely have to do a lot more texturing since we have snow there and grass here, and well, the grass is still growing up here, but I really feel like some ancient gate crossing over this could look insanely cool as a transition between some different zones as we move farther out this way. And another cool update here is we have 21 days left until day 10,000. We get a 5th digit on that day counter. Oh, it's gonna be cool. And I've got to bring the rest of this mountain just coming down along here a little farther. I might peak it back up off of like somewhere over here, but I do want this to be pretty much the end of the range and more cliffs going around this space to bring it all in line, but that's a future me problem, as current me needs to put in all of the walls and find all of the spots that I missed to put blocks in, as there are apparently quite a few of them. One final push later, wrapping up the last corner of our mountain range. There it is! The newest addition to our mountain range is completed. So many materials went into this project, but just look at it. With the sun setting yet again, I have cleared out another 10 shulker boxes worth of materials, finishing off that last mountain over there. And we can just drop those here in the empties chest. And that is looking so cool from over here. Oh, it looks so good. Now, the view I really want to see this from is more over towards the Pillager Castle, as wow. Okay, it still has to load in, so we're outside of 48 chunk render distance with all that back there. But that is looking so absolutely cool. The grand scale we get just from being down here, seeing all of this, being able to walk up towards it, is just something else. I am really curious though, if we put a structure on the landscape, I'm very curious to see how it affects the scale. Where could we go? I kind of want to do a little farm, maybe along the rivers. Oh, we have that flat place over there. Yeah, let's do something in there. I've done the tally for today's resource expenditures. We have a total of 93 shulker boxes cleared, taking the first round back home, or around 160,704 blocks placed on this landscape, which brings the total for this project to roughly 329,304 blocks on the mountains, nearly doubling the build in size. I'm gonna need another place to store shulkers because this is gonna fill up very quickly. The last of the empty boxes are now moved over, and I'm just shoving them all up here in the attic, as this normal box I use is completely filled with them. Before we get into the farmhouse though, I do need to repair all of my wings again, as they're all they've had better days. That means it's time for a quick trip down into the nether. Nope, not like that. You're right. Okay, it's fine. Out here to the Wither Skeleton Farm. Now that I can flap for a good while longer, let's go get some blocks together to fill out that bingo sheet. Yes, after the joke from last episode, somebody actually made a bingo sheet and posted it. It's really entertaining. I want to build up a log cabin of sorts that should hopefully fit within the mountains, so we're grabbing a decent amount of spruce, mangrove, and dark oak as primary materials to help give that rustic vibe. Then flying down into the quarry for our next stop, getting stones, where this should be about everything that I need from here. And I'd like to make a quick stop at the Foliage market to grab some pale oak leaves and saplings, and birch, probably some azalea, and hopefully I still have some grass. I've got 11. Dang it. But I want to use a lot of blocks that don't have biome tinting for foliage up there, and we can use this as a small test palette of sorts around the cabin that we're making. And since it's spring IRL and they're everywhere, I want to grab some wildflowers that we can just dot around the mountains themselves. And I can't help it, we're using bushes too. Thankfully in here we've got a lot of stuff, and I've got more short grass, and then I think in this I should also have some in here too, another 12. Okay, well, you know, maybe that can at least be a start today. Now, out of the top of the chimney, I normally use campfires because I love the animation we can get out of it, but being so far away, we're not gonna be able to see it. So I thought instead we could grab some light gray glass and gray glass and maybe some panes in here too, so that we can create like an artificial chimney smoke using our glass. I scavenged together everything that I could grab out of storage for now, so I think we've got enough to be able to throw together something pretty decent, and we can just drop out some of our extra support shulker boxes that I take with me everywhere, and we'll pull some materials out of these. I want to go with a stone base to the building, so let's grab a lot of our pale moss, the cobblestone, andesites. I kind of want to go with a lighter color, but not quite to the whites of diorite. To get started, I like the entryway being on an upper floor, so I think we can actually just turn this directly into a staircase going up here out of our stone. And then this little corner right here is gonna be a bit where we have like a basement floor, which I think could be pretty cool. But as you can see, we're going with a lot lighter tones here, being most of our walls out of that. And then I saw this out of artwork recently, just that I was looking for some inspiration, where it was a staircase going up. Directly right after that was just a wooden platform that was actually the entrance to the house. So you could kind of have something right in here like this. I just thought it was really cool, so I wanted to bring that into this build too. Continuing the stone around the base floor to give us a 3 tall basement, I want to also add some extensions so it's not just a full rectangle. Then on the far side, I am stacking up a brick chimney that will add the smoke out of glass later on. As first, let's finish up the front facade here, where I want to use a lot of our mangrove coming in to be some of our framing beams, and I want to try something a little different here by not having them fully on the corners, as I think it's given a pretty cool result. I did this by mistake when I was planning out the build originally, and then I looked back at it and I was like, wait a minute, that's kind of cool. And I know this definitely doesn't make a whole lot of sense, but I don't want to be too strict with that idea. So in here, we're actually gonna add a little support beam in the middle of our support beam so that we can add a big old window right here out of some scaffolding. And then I really want to use the backside of our barrel for that texture here. It's just going to be a bit of a pain in the butt to get placed in, but with that solved, it's just going to be a lot of our spruce and then oak coming up here to the top to be a little bit of like a frame with our oak going across as a curve, and then it's just going to come up to that tall. For a little light here on the front, we can throw in a beehive with some candles sitting on top of it. Then so we have a little awning right here. Let's go ahead and do some trapdoors and dark oak slabs, and then this will be what we use to kind of hold up the roof, so I'm just going to dot a few of them around in for now. Last step for our front here is right above these guys. I think I want to do some jungle trapdoors as a bit of a shutter, and then I really like the spruce trapdoors in front with our scaffolding behind to add like these big boxes. Repeating the same ideas around the sides of the log cabin build, I then added on a roof out of deep slate curving up to the top for a simple shape, where the chimney is now billowing out some smoke to heat the house, and I really like how this is looking. Especially from far away, we can get the idea that somebody lives in here just by seeing that coming out the top for a little bit more movement. I've also added in a few spruce fences over here, and I'd like to start digging out a roadway, being very careful to not fall inside, as we don't want to end up down there. I'm not too sure how we're going to connect the road back up to everything else that I have so far, but I at least want to give the start of an idea for it. Our road is now in and walking up to the cabin here with the sun setting over the far side of the hill. This is looking really cool. We've got our bushes, we've got a lot of the pale oak to be like a mountain sagebrush or something, and a few wildflowers in because I can't help it, I want to put them everywhere, and then just some grassy bits. But you know what we do need to really make it feel part of the environment? Trees. Adding 2 of my lighter colored pine trees to the front here with azalea leaves to avoid that biome coloring, and then along the back I'm adding in a small bunch of aspen trees with birch leaves on them to again avoid the tint, as it's now in the snowy plains biome. Fun fact about these trees, they're actually a remake of a tree that I built 9 years ago. I randomly found a screenshot of mine of an old build that I had done and saw these in the background and zoomed in and decided to try and remake them, and I think they actually hold up pretty well. Especially now that, ooh, no, not you. Oh man, actually broke a seagrass when putting a wildflower down. But now that we have the pale oak in here instead of that used to be birch, and honestly these weren't even that great of walls before, they were the cobblestone ones, these look a lot better. These look a lot better. But now we can clean up the mess of shulker boxes, removing the shulker mess, and I feel like this fits in pretty well for the scale of the mountains. It is a little lonely up here with no details surrounding it, but I think it's a pretty excellent start. These guys might be a bit too bright and lush for, you know, the snow right behind it, but I think we can dot a few of them in just for variation. Also want to make sure that I don't cover this entire space in builds. I want to just be very natural landscapes with like maybe a handful of cabins dotted around, but this might honestly be the only one for quite some time here, as I'd like most of the civilization to be farther back in this direction. And we got to figure out how we want to decorate things, as we're going to get some very gross biome tinting between a swamp, old school mountain range, we have oak forest, and then snowy everything and anything over here, even glaciers all the way back there. Wrapped up the mountain expansion for today with exactly 10 days to spare, and I know what I need to do next. Well, first off, obviously, is I need to just hide what's the mess at my front porch right here, as I don't know if I have time to sort it all and do what I want to do. So it's gonna temporarily live in here. I swear I'll fix that soon, but it is about time to update the world map. Inside of this castle, which very much still needs an interior to it, we have world maps going all the way back to episode 3 in December 2021, cycling every about 10 episodes or so. I have been adding a new update for this entire region for our world map, and it has been quite some time since episode 80 in November 2024, where we are now on episode a little late 92, May of 2025. Oh, I can already tell so many things are gonna change. This is gonna be so cool. Fortunately, the mountains don't quite make it on though. All that work we did today, yeah, it's not gonna show on the map, but that's fine. We've got ourselves plenty of item frames, and it looks like plenty of glass panes and extra maps. The glass panes will actually leave in there. And the item frames we can just get up here on the wall so that I don't have to try and do it later while juggling all of the new maps. Of course, I'm doing the most terrifying thing right before I finish this. We're gonna leave the totem on and just drop everything else in here. Now, I just need to start grabbing all of these extra empty ones that I keep a copy of, and we can duplicate them all. Right, now for the extremely dangerous part of this hardcore Minecraft world, where I need to put the rockets in my offhand, and we are going to be taking all of these maps that we've just duplicated to fly around and try and update every single one of them. Wings are looking pretty good, so I shouldn't have to touch the ground at all when we're going around here, and we're off. This is something I still absolutely love doing in my worlds, to see how far I have grown over the course of the world being around. Partially from a building skills standpoint, but also purely from just seeing how much I have actually built. Seeing the differences between each map really helps me put into context just how much time I have put into this world. I checked this thing out here, and the first thing standing out to me is Minecraft has updated their texture for wheat on the maps. I didn't know that was a thing at all. I mean, just look at that to that. It looks so much better being able to see the golden yellow color of all of our wheat fields. That's really cool. It's so boring over there now, just with everything being green. W Mojang, big W Mojang. And also fWhip over here, if we can finally see everything that's evolved in the harbor. And that is just looking nuts with the whole biome and the lake and all that coming in here together. Oh, I can't wait to see the school up there. The Foliage University sitting up over the top of that is going to be epic on the map. June of 2023 was the first time I expanded to our current size of the map, and you can see what we've done back here, all the way compared to where we are at today, and that has grown so much. You kind of still have 8 days left. I don't know why I thought that was going to take 10 days to do the whole map, and well, I've already locked in the map. Oh, hello, cave. So I need to find some either underground projects to do or projects that just don't revolve being in this area to finish out our last 8 days. And I figure I've been a little behind on getting this area updated, so we're gonna start here with carving this down to bring in this like light fissure thing that we have going throughout the rest of the map room. This floor design is extremely simple, but it takes a while to put in with digging out the trench down to where I have pearlescent frog lights as the bottom layer, stacking up the blackstone walls, and finally alternating layers of magenta glass with air gaps to the top with gray glass to tone it down. This looks much better now, having finished up the floor up to our most recent maps that we have on the wall. I still have no idea how far I want to take the tunnel down there, especially when we come back here underneath our guardian tank. We have these other 2 corridors that I'm just not too sure what I want to do with, but I do love the idea of this continuing to grow the map down that way. So if you have ideas on these 2 lanes, what should I do with them? Ooh, it's really dark in here, but we have all of our different colored fish and corals, and you can see the glow squids barely down there. And yes, the guardians are still alive up here, which is just so funny. With that wrapped up, we are currently on day 9,996. So please load in. Oh, thank you. I've got 4 more days before we hit that 10,000, and I gotta think of something else to do. I've got it. Something that's gonna be out of the map, so it doesn't matter that I built it after. I would like to start adding some foliage here along this edge of the river. So I spent a day gathering up materials from around my base to bring back over for some custom trees, and then spent the remaining few days building up the river edge with our azalea, small drip leaf, and now adding in the firefly bushes for that brown color, which is awesome, before jumping into building out a few smaller trees to hide the rock faces behind it just a touch. I was mostly curious how it's gonna look from this angle, and I think that looks really good, kind of blurring the corner as you go around the river. We've still got to finish up the river down underneath, but I'm currently on day 9,999, so I don't have time to do that. But we've got those new aspen trees that I designed over for the mountain range. Thought they would fit in well over here too with the acacia leaves on them. They're very, very similar to those guys right over there, but that's cherry fences, and here we have the pale oak. Now, as this day is exactly halfway over, just about, I'm gonna plop my bed right down here, and we're just gonna be hanging out, fishing our way to 10,000 days. No mending book yet, but I did get a mending unbreaking 3 fishing rod. Close, right? Basically the same thing. There it goes. The sun is starting to set behind the Giga Tree. Oh man, 10,000 days in the same hardcore Minecraft world. That is absurd. Oh, that's also an absurd bow. Repair that thing up with an infinity power 4 bow, and whoo, that's a good replacement for a bow. Whoa. Oh wait, it has mending. Ew, grass. Last fish? Nope, can't end on a cod. I'm not ending on a cod. Much better. A salmon to send us into 10,000 days. That was it. That's 10,000 days in a hardcore Minecraft. As a reward for myself for reaching 10,000 days, I have decided on adding a data pack to this world. The build height of Minecraft has always been a bit of a limitation, so I have created a data pack to increase the world height to 512 blocks. Meaning, yes, I can now build this far above the clouds. So this mountain range and the entire world is about to get a whole lot bigger. Click that like button if you have enjoyed. Subscribe if you're new and want to see where I take this world in the next 10,000 days. But with that, I'll catch y'all on the fWhip side for a world tour and download coming very soon. Well, that tree kind of looks a little short now. Huh? Thought that was pretty close to world height before. Oh well.